What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, invading California for Namm 2020, and we are here with Mats Levén of Skyblood. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Thanks.
It's so awesome to have you here. Your latest solo record is the Skyblood record. One thing I was curious about is being a solo record, how different of like a mind frame it was making this record as opposed to the work you did with Invade and Candlemass and all that stuff.
Totally different. I mean, especially compared to Candlemass, because with Candlemass I didn't write anything. With Ingrid Malmsteen, I co-wrote songs and stuff, but I mean, it's totally different because this is so much my baby, It's my thing, 100%. I play a lot of the instruments on the album as well, so I mean, it's totally different. I mean, this album is totally different to anything I've done before, both for me personally, but also the way it sounds, I guess, yeah.
Do you think that maybe because it was a solo record, you had like a lot more creative independence into it, or was there still some maybe like outside input that helped with this?
Nah, I mean, that's why it took so long, because I was like, I always knew that I want to do this 100% myself the way I want to do it. I don't care about genres, I don't care about any rules at all. And Napalm Records were great with that, because they let me do this anything. I didn't have any influence from anyone outside. I could just do it the way I did it, and they loved it. And I was in charge of everything with the artwork or press photos, everything. I just took care of everything because I just wanted to be on top of things, So it was awesome.
Was there like a preconceived idea on how you wanted the Skyblood record to sound? Because I consider you like almost like an experimental artist because you're able to work with so many different people. So was there like an idea of what you wanted Skyblood to sound like?
Not really, because I've been doing those demos for so many years, writing songs, and my only rule was there are no rules. I just do whatever I want to do. I don't really care what people think. I just want to do something that feels good to me, and if I get a good feeling about it, I hope some other people would get a good feeling about it as well. So I didn't really have like a big idea. I mean, I just had like a lot of songs to choose from, and just when I sat down a year ago, I just had to choose songs that kind of fit together for like the first album. Some of the old songs will be on the second album, etc. But I didn't really have like a big idea. But once I decided to call it Skyblood and I found the cover for the album, I kind of found the vibe, and I kind of rewrote some of the lyrics when it comes to what I wanted the feeling to be about. But 90% of the songs kind of sound the way they sounded already on the demos I did 6 years ago. So, yeah.
In order to get inspired to write music, do you have to like put yourself in a certain element in order for inspiration to come, or do you sometimes just come up with an idea out of the blue?
Well, it's different. I mean, I pretty much believe that you need to just get up in the studio, start working, at 9 in the morning or whatever, and do your 6 hours of work. And what I tend to notice is that the first 2 hours, once I get up and have breakfast, those are the two most creative hours to me. Those hours are super creative. Probably just because you have been sleeping all night, your brain is kind of empty, and you're like open to new ideas and stuff. And then I'm pretty good at using like the voice recorder in the phone, on the phone. Once I have ideas, whenever, if I pick my kids up to school, suddenly an idea comes up, whatever. I'm pretty good at keeping the ideas and doing something out of the ideas as well. So I mean, sometimes I'm really good at being focused. Sometimes it just pops up in the head, I guess, and it's just a question of remembering it. So yeah, I need to have a pretty good work ethic because I got a family, So yeah.
So I think it's because like I was talking to a tattoo artist one time, and she says if I only tattooed when I was inspired, I wouldn't pay my bills. So
Exactly.
It seems like even if you're not feeling it, you always try to come up with something.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't really control that. Sometimes good things come up, sometimes don't. But as long as you keep working at it, I mean, sometimes I'm not inspired. Then I do something else that doesn't take that much inspiration, but needs to be done. Maybe I have to edit the drums or whatever. I need, you kind of feel that. Okay, I shouldn't write anything today. I should do something else that needs to be done anyway. So that's the good thing about having your own studio, I guess, that you can do all that.
Now, you mentioned that, you really didn't take any outside input. This all has come from you. But I'd imagine from all the work you've done with so many other artists before, it really it's almost people say you're like a product of your past. I think one way or another, do you think it maybe kind of subconsciously, you learned a lot, so you have a lot of technique that you incorporated in here?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, if I look back at, I would say, for instance, that I did an album with, I did several albums with Therion, a Swedish band, and on the last album I did with Therion, I got to write a few songs as well, and I got some inspiration from that time, I guess, to how I wanted it to sound like, and I almost also got a lot of inspiration from the stuff I did with Candlemaster, Crux, the project we had together, me and Leif, before that. I think that has gone into Skyblood as well. So yeah, of course, but I also felt that I wanted to use the inspirations from my youth. I listened a lot to David Bowie when I was a kid, Peter Gabriel or whatever, and I never really had the chance to use that in the albums I've done in the past. So, you know, that was the whole idea of this. Just let it flow. Just use your inspirations. Do whatever you want to do, you know, and don't be scared, because I didn't really have much to lose. I felt I was like, you know, I just do whatever I want to do, and if people don't like it, hey, you know, as long as I like it, I'm kind of happy.
And if you don't like it yourself, you can't expect other people to.
No, you got to be convinced about what you do yourself if you expect other people to work with you or promote it, you know. And yeah, totally. You gotta really just believe it and believe in it. And, you know, and that's what I do.
Now here comes the most difficult question. I have two more questions for you. I'll get the most difficult one out of the way, and it's my favorite to ask every artist. How do you know when a song is done? And being that you said you worked on this for 6 years? So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough question, man. How do you know that? I mean, there were several songs on this album that they were done, but just in the end, I kind of, oh wow, I gave it another 20 seconds in the end or whatever. I did something else, but I think that is very much about your subconscious. You don't know it yourself, but you have a part of your brain that is kind of like the producer in your brain, and you just know that something is not right. I'm not really done. I don't know what it is exactly. I got to give it a go again. In 2 days maybe I'll go back to that song and something will happen. And it's been like that with most of the songs. They've been like 95% done. But I kind of, you know, sometimes you just feel that, it's like you need to dress yourself to go out or something. And you just when you're on your way out, you feel that there's something you don't feel comfortable about. Maybe the shirt is too small. Maybe the socks are wrong. I mean, whatever, you know. You got something in the back of the brain that tells you, you should change something. You need to rearrange something, you know. And that's the only way I know that I'm not done with the song, because I'm not like, there's something that I'm not really happy with, you know. I can't say what it is, so I need to give it another go in a couple of days. And some people would, of course, say that, man, you worked too long on that song. And I'm like, no, because I need to be 100% satisfied. I need to feel that, yeah, I can let it go now. It's cool, you know. That's the only way I can explain it.
I think that way you explained it was the best answer I've ever gotten. Most people just say, it's never done, or when I get the final mix back or something like that.
Yeah. No, but, you know, then you got to remember as well that many of those songs on this album, I did demos several years ago. So I've been, you know, so I've kind of, a lot of the stuff that I wasn't really 100% happy with, I've had so many years to kind of dissect that in my brain. Like, okay, when I do the album, I always sort that part out. I will fix that. So, and actually, like one of the songs that I wrote now this year for the album called For or Against, I kind of felt afterwards, it was wow, it was weird because I'm so used to know the songs for a long time on demos before I record them. So that was a bit scary with that one. But it turned out great, I think. It was cool.
So before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, is there just anything else that you would like to promote in terms of new music or any live performances or anything like that?
Well, not really. I mean, I'm actually starting recording a new Skyblood album in a few months, or at least finishing writing the songs and started recording drums and stuff. So I'm pretty like, my goal is to release another album early 2021, because when you're a new artist, you got a new band out. It takes a while before people know what you're doing, before they hear about, what is that, you know. So I might as well just get another album out and start focusing on doing festivals in Europe and like an opening tour for some band in 2021. When I have more material, you know, to play live as well. So that's what I'll be doing this year, pretty much. I don't know if I'm going to do Trans-Siberian Orchestra again, like I've done for 3 years. That might be at the end of the year or not. I don't know if I get the offer. But so I don't know much more than that. You know, that's the way of an artist. You know, maybe you know what you're going to do in a few weeks, but I don't know what I'm going to do in 4 months. It's like, you know, new things happen all the time. So.
Focus on the moment.
Yeah, I guess that's the way it is.
Well, Mats, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Good to talk to you.
Everybody, Mats Levén of Skyblood. Be sure to pick up the record if you haven't already. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time for Namm 2020.